Well, you have the big, beautiful knife.
Rule 9, always carry a knife.
Man, I have a Swiss Army.
Well, there's our first technical glitch with one of those library lights just kicked off on us. Do we keep going, or should we
I think we're
take
going to
a
be
break and set
in
up?
the dark.
Hey, Joe, here we are.
Wow. Time
No,
for another podcast.
It is. It's number 4.
Number 4, up to 4.
And we're getting, honestly, quite better at it.
I hope so.
I am at being more comfortable to pretend like we're just sitting having coffee and all of this stuff isn't.
We should have coffee. Maybe we can do that.
We could
Well,
give that a try, wouldn't
yeah.
we? Because
We're
we're going to
talk about that. Yeah.
being out on the road. So, yeah, here we go.
I got an email about someone who, I guess we go back to podcast number 2, where we were running up against the deadline when we had to clear out of here. And I was kind of inching, trying to be discreet and looking at my watch to see where the time was. And he wanted to know about the kind of watch I was wearing. And we'll have to zoom in here. Let's zoom in the camera here. This is not a Rolex. This is a Michael Kors watch. And my wife used to work for Michael Kors, and she purchased this for me, I don't know, what it was 2 or 3 years ago as a birthday present. But it's a quartz watch, not a mechanical watch, and it's a chronometer. And it's pretty nice. It keeps pretty accurate time. The last time I checked, I think it was this morning, it was holding within 4 or 5 seconds over a week. Quartz watches are pretty accurate anyway. But it's a nice watch. It's certainly not as expensive as Rolex, so you could buy a couple hundred of these for what a
my
Rolex
gosh.
cost.
Well, okay.
So you
how
have an
accurate
Apple
is
Watch.
your watch. What time is it, Joe?
It is not quite 3:44. What does yours
Yeah,
say?
about the same. I'm supposed to be able to tap this damn thing, and it tells me the time. But clearly I'm not
Oh,
tapping
you have
the
an
right
Apple
place.
Watch.
Oh, I do.
I had one for a short time. Mary got a new Apple Watch, and then she gave me her old one, which was falling apart. And I had it for a month, and then it totally fell apart.
Okay.
But I like an analog watch. This is not a totally mechanical since it is a quartz watch, but I like these kind of watches. I think it has to do with cars. There's something, I think cameras too, and I think mechanical cameras we'll talk about.
I think all 3 of those for you now that I think about it.
Yeah, they all kind of go
Yes.
together.
They sure do.
Oh, there was a new Sony camera came out. It's called the FX2, which is kind of video oriented. And although we're not going to look at that camera because I doubt if Sony would ever get around to letting us borrow one. But I wanted to ask you about, this is a full frame camera. I think, what is it? How many megapixels is this thing? Oh, look at this press release. Okay, 33 megapixel full frames.
All right.
What's your take on, are you going to see, are the people watching this, that's really what it boils down to, are the people watching a video from a 33 megapixel full frame sensor going to have a better experience than watching it with a Micro Four Thirds sensor that was recorded? What do you think? Have you ever shot any video on anything bigger than Micro Four Thirds?
I have not, and I doubt that I will. For me, I don't see the need to do that. I know that these Lumix cameras have gotten high ratings and reviews since they first came out with all the video.
Well, yeah,
going
because
on with them.
Panasonic's been in the video business a
Yes.
long time.
I mean, I have some friends, colleagues who we're shooting those Panasonic cameras.
The
And
Panasonic
I
video
guess-
cameras.
Yes, I guess once I did own one of those that shot SVHS tape. So
Well,
maybe
we both did.
was that better quality than a 4/3?
Heck yeah.
Oh, it
no,
was.
no, I don't think so.
No,
I'm sorry.
I don't think
no, I
so.
think I think VHS inherently was okay.
Okay.
I remember when we would shoot stuff for corporate clients on video. We would shoot with a real high-end beta But once it got down to the corporate level, they had VHS tape. And that was like looking at it in the worst possible quality.
Right. The Micro Four Thirds does it for me. And I'd love to have a conversation with some full-frame people to get some thoughts back and forth. It's like I've said with my still images with these Micro Four Thirds. I've made 20 by 24 prints of families, groups.
That you sold.
That I've sold and people have put on their wall. And I'm sure that a real expert, someone who really has a good eye for image quality, could look between them and probably pick out which was which.
But ultimately, it boils down to, when you're talking about a print, you're talking about viewing distance. And the viewing
Yes.
distance for a 2024 is different than a 5x7 or a 8x10.
Right.
And at a distance to view it neural, I don't know if anybody would be able to tell the difference. With video, it always boils down to the quality of the media you're looking at it. I mean, if you're looking at it on a
Your phone.
CRT or a phone or an OLED screen, it's going to make a difference. Even on these cell phones, the screens are really different. Mary has a new Google Pixel. Boy, that really looks nice, but
Yes.
it's not like watching my 65-inch OLED screen
No.
and watching a 4K movie.
Right.
And
But
we shoot
people-
these all in 4K. If nobody knows that,
We are.
we
but-
are shooting this under 4K.
But it's not the highest 4K I can set the camera on. I can jump up 4 or 5 steps.
Oh, we have the
more.
cheapo 4K?
We've got the lowest 4K because it's all that we need. It would
Because
be,
once we go to YouTube,
yes, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't
because they
to me.
downsample it anyway, that you're not getting what you, the viewer out there, will watch it, is not what you would see if you watch it on this beautiful monitor we have here in the studio.
Right. And when we've looked at this on that monitor, it
Looks fabulous.
Yes.
It looks fabulous.
Right. So I'm going to stick with the Micro Four Thirds for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
The money to get them.
How much is this thing?
That one.
Well, it's not horribly expensive. It's $26.99,
Wow.
$2,700.
Yeah, and these are like down to 16 or so.
Oh,
just for
that's like half price.
Yeah, almost, I guess, isn't it? But for me, it's the weight. And
Yes.
that's not just because of age. It's just because of the convenience of using it in shooting, just to hold. I mean, I got a cage for this, and damn, I should have brought the thing. But even this, with the image stabilization in these Lumix cameras, both in the lens and the body, I'm just most comfortable walking around and getting the quality of a gimbal. I can also do some settings in here and hand hold it, and it will stabilize that as though it were on a tripod, really close to it. And a little motion in your shot, I think, is preferred these days, as
yeah.
opposed to rock solid imaging.
Well, if you look at movies, that's kind of like most people's frame of reference, and typically the shots are very short in length, and the camera's always moving somewhere.
Yes. Because the rule is, when you're shooting video, if the subject's not moving, then the camera needs to move. You have to have motion.
That's a very interesting thing.
Yes.
Okay, so that's our movie tip of the day. And for more about movies,
Is
stay
that our
tuned.
what's new?
Yeah, that's as exciting as it gets. We're going
Alright.
to talk about
The
show
thing-
and tell time.
Well, yeah, but back to the what's new, it's just, there's something new every day. I mean, there's new cameras announced today, and there's.
Yes,
it's impossible to totally keep up with everything.
It's not impossible. It's challenging, I would say.
Oh, okay. But when we're talking about something now, it's going to be old news maybe when somebody looks at this in a month, even.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the new OM Systems OM3 Mark II.
All right.
That was the big announcement today or tomorrow, yesterday, or tomorrow. Maybe it'll be announced tomorrow, and we're letting the world know ahead of time.
Oh, except it won't. Yeah. But what I like about what we do is, and we've certainly over the years talked to gear and how it works and performs for us like we're doing here. But we also dig down into actually using the gear and the final product. So many video reviews are strictly equipment oriented.
About the specs.
They want to know, people want to know. And I do with some of this equipment. I look at those videos to learn how to use some of it. But I don't see too many out there talking about the thought process that they've got going through when they're making their images. People, I don't think, seem to want to know that too much. They want to know more about, give me a diagram of where to put the light. Does this light go here? Does it really go just 3 feet off to this side, or should it be 4 feet off to this side? And then I'm going to set my lights like you tell me to set them, and I'm going to have these pictures. That misses the point to me of what we've done in our life.
How did you come up to the idea of what's the point of having the light there? What's the point of having the camera there? What's the thought process behind
exactly
the technique?
And then, yeah, I think that's missing a lot of times. But that's what I like about what we're doing. We get into that, I think.
I hope so.
And we have at all of our coffee sessions.
Yes, and maybe one of these days we'll take these people along with
We
that.
keep talking about that, don't we? We'll surprise them.
Yes, we'll surprise them in a few minutes. So show and tell. I brought along my favorite film camera. 2 podcasts ago, I talked about my favorite digital camera, which is the Olympus Pen F, and my favorite film camera is the Canon A-1, which I bought on eBay from Japan. I forget what I paid for this. It was about, most of my Canon's A series cameras, and I have all 6 of them, were right around $100. This is unique in the A series in that it's the only camera that Canon made that did all 4 modes. It did shutter priority, aperture priority, it did program and manual, and has a button, lever, or knob for all of those. This is the A2 winder on there, which has such a great sound. Oh, did I turn it off? Yeah.
Well, do that a little more, and I won't chew my cookie into the microphone. That's such a cool...
It's a great sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I really missed about... I think a lot of people who get into film photography because they miss the cameras. The experience of using a camera like this is very different than using a camera like that one. And even though there's no instant gratification, there's the instant gratification of using it. This is a beautifully made camera. I think they sold for around $450 back in when this was made, was somewhere around in 1985. And even after all these years, it's held up really well. I mean, oh, you're gonna give me a shot? That's great. This is the A2 motor drive, which it's not a motor drive, it's a winder. I have a motor drive for one of my other cameras. This does a speed of 2 frames a second. And basically the whole idea was that it's something that saves you the thought of moving it with your finger. You didn't have to take your finger off the camera. So if you're shooting it, you can just keep shooting without having to move it away from your eye, which everybody who's using digital cameras is totally used to because they didn't have to use the film advance lever to make it work. But any camera like this, any film camera is all about lenses, and Canon's always had good lenses, and I have a few of them. And this is my favorite camera, mainly because of the build quality, the controls, and the satisfaction it gives me when I take it out and use it. And it also is a great way to meet people.
Just the feel of it.
It's all metal. It's
yeah.
It's a solid feeling thing.
Oh, totally. There's no lens on it.
Well, there's no lens on it, yeah. The lenses aren't that... The lenses are very simple because they're manual focus lenses.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, very simple lenses. Isn't it a pretty camera?
It is.
I don't think the new Canons look as nice as that.
A lot of nice memories pop into my head of using these, and
One of the funny things is I was camera manuals hard to find, although there's a guy online named Butkus, no relation, I think, to the football player, who has a lot of camera manuals online that you can look at. And I thought I'll look around, find a magic lantern guide for this camera. Well, I found a magic lantern guide for the A1, the A1 program, the AE1. I thought, well, this would be good. It'll help me with those cameras. And I thought, I'm a little looking how to set the ISO, because I wasn't sure how to do it. And it's not self-evident, especially with this camera. And so I look in the instructions, and they were wrong.
they were wrong.
They were wrong. It's so funny. It's like, and I knew one of the guys that wrote the book, which is really something. And I would thought, well, he was a pretty smart guy. Well, why? But basically, he had cut and pasted the ISO setting, ASA back then, from the AE1, which sets it different than it does for the A1.
That's funny.
And so I'm thinking, well, that, and I paid $10 for that book. Anyway, that's my favorite film camera. And we'll have more favorite cameras as we go through this podcast.
You have so many. About how many cameras do you own?
We've had this conversation before, and I kind of counted them one time. If you count my film cameras and my digital cameras, it's a number around 25. It might be 27. I'm not sure. You know, the funny thing is, I remember I was at Photokina, I don't know, back in the film era. I was at Photokina, and Joe Meehan from Photo District News and me and some other editors were sitting around the press room, and he asked one of the editors, former editor of Shutterbug, he said, "Hey, Bob, how many cameras do you own?" Bob said, "Oh, I think it's like 200. And he says, "Joe, how many cameras do you have?" I said, "I think it's around 25. So all these years later, even though the cameras have all changed, I think, only, I'm trying to think if any of them have remained from those years ago. I don't think so.
But you've got favorites and ones that you're starting to reuse now with your film shooting. And
Shooting film is fun.
I haven't been back to film since.
We're going to shoot film.
We are.
If we still haven't gotten our film from Kentmere, but if Kentmere ever sends us any film, we're going to go shoot some film together, and I'll lend you my contacts. So 139, which is probably the simplest film camera to use. Well, I have easier ones like it's kind of the point shoots. I have a Leica Jaguar edition. That's in British Racing Green with a Jaguar Leaper on the front. You just put the film in and shoot it.
I mean, you'll teach me how to put the film in.
Oh, it's so easy. Open the back
Even
and
I
stick
can
it
do
in. Yeah, anybody can do it.
Because I need some retraining.
What
I
all you
have
have to do is
always
focus.
marveled at when you've reviewed cameras. You have done so many. You get a camera, you unbox it, you do all the review, you pack it up and send it, you get the next one, and all the menus are different.
Yeah.
I mean, I've sometimes switched between a couple of similar cameras, and I'm just challenged to find the things in the menu, and yet you're finding them, doing them, and you're shooting pictures.
I think that just
talent.
comes from my computer background. I'm working with computers since
Okay.
64, I think, when I started working with computers.
All right.
I've always been around computers. There's two things I always wanted to own when I was younger. I wanted to own a computer,
Okay.
and when I bought my first computer, it was Apple II Plus, I think it was, and it was $2,500. It was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I went to the credit union to get the money for the loan, and they said, "What are you ever going to need a computer for?"
Well, back then, yeah.
I didn't know. And the other thing I wanted was a robot dog, and I'm still waiting for that one. Anybody has an old Sony Aibo out there that they don't know what to do with, contact me and let me know.
Yeah.
But I thought a robot dog would be nice. The Sony made 3 generations of robot dogs. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not.
I just thought that would be a
man.
cool thing to have around the house. Oh, wait a minute. You have some show and tells.
I got a little bit here. So we keep talking about going to a Starbucks and recording there.
We tried doing a podcast years and years ago, and we did some. Do you remember this?
I
We
do.
recorded it, and it was so noisy
Yes,
because we had a mic sitting in the middle of the table.
we do. So we might start to do that here soon. I mean, this is probably old equipment and old hats of so many people that shoot a lot of video and vloggers and everything, but what's been holding us back is our sound system. And I'll get a couple of still shots of what we've got set up now because I'm using an old Juiced Link audio.
Juice Link?
Juiced Link.
It's juicy?
Juiced Link. A guy was making these, small company his own, and it's a audio preamp that takes the signal from your mics into the camera because most of these in-camera mics are terrible.
Yeah.
And you need to bypass that system.
So we're
get
using
good
these mics.
sound
These
in.
are not just props.
No, these
They are
are
connected
used,
directly
but
to the
they're-
juice.
They're plugged directly into the camera, and they're XLR cables, and so that you get great quality, and you can monitor the audio into the camera and into the Juice Link by the scale on the back. But if we're going to be out in the field, we're not going to have these, and all I've got is one set of Audio Technica lavalier. But to do it this old-fashioned way would require the antenna, and this hooks up to it stays on the camera. And this
And
then, of course, has the mic.
So that
Plugged
connects to by wire to the mic input on the camera?
Yes, into the Juice Link.
Yeah.
And then into
Oh,
the
into
camera. All right? So then, of course, you're hooking up your wireless and running the cable up your shirt and
Mhm.
hooking it on. And I only have one. And,
How expensive were they when you got them?
well, these are probably some of the lower end because I wasn't going to buy Sennheiser until I...
The Sennheisers, I know they've been around a long time in the
Oh my
mic
gosh,
business.
they're pretty much the premier in
Are they
audio
really?
and microphones.
I don't know much about mics.
Oh, huge technology. I mean, they're the ones that make these little teeny tiny mics that go on the on-air talent for the news shows and all of that. So we're stuck with one of these, which isn't going to work for both of us. So I've been investigating and have come up, thanks to your recommendation, for this new technology of wireless mic systems that actually clip right onto your shirt, or you use that strong magnet. It takes a lot to pull that off and hook it to your shirt.
But that doesn't weigh anything.
No, and that's the transmitter. That's the microphone.
Then it has a battery in it, right? Because that's the weight I feel of it.
You're feeling also that magnet.
Oh, really?